The Winter Homebody, a Midnight Cat Café story. December 28th, around 8 in the evening. Sonal had gone for a walk just so she could say she'd done something today. Her co-workers were posting ski photos from Colorado. Her roommate had flown to a beach somewhere warm. Her sister's Instagram showed a holiday party with tiny appetizers and people in cocktail dresses. And Sonal had spent the day on her couch, rewatching a movie she'd seen 11 times, drinking tea under a blanket she'd owned since college. She wasn't sad about it. That was the strange part. She'd loved every minute of her quiet day. But somewhere around hour 6, guilt had crept in, the voice that said she should be doing something with her vacation time, something memorable, something she could post about. So she'd put on actual pants and gone outside. The cafe appeared after 2 blocks. Warm light, that particular amber glow that promises nothing will be required of you. She went in. The air smelled like honey and ginger. Everything inside seemed designed for not going anywhere. Deep chairs, soft lighting, books on shelves that invited browsing but didn't demand it. A radiator clicking its patient rhythm in the corner. The woman behind the counter looked up with a gentle smile. "Staying close to home these days. I have a honey ginger tea that feels like being wrapped in a blanket, perfect for not going anywhere." Sonal almost laughed. "That obvious. You have the look of someone who left the house because they thought they should, not because they wanted to." Is that a bad thing? Not at all. Sometimes we need to go out just long enough to remember why we wanted to stay in. The tea arrived in an oversized mug that required 2 hands to hold. Steam rose, carrying warmth and sweetness. Sonal found a chair near the window and sank into it. The cafe felt like an extension of her couch, just cozier, just outside enough to count. The white cat appeared from the direction of the bookshelves. She moved with deliberate slowness, each step considered, each paw placed with intention. Her fur was impossibly thick and pale, Persian and cloud-like, and her expression held the peaceful contentment of someone who had never once worried about being productive. She stopped at the base of Sonal's chair, looked up, waited. "Hi there." The cat blinked, slowly, then began the process of climbing onto Sonal's lap. It took a while. 1 paw on the armrest, a pause to evaluate, the other paw on the cushion, a longer pause, a small adjustment of weight, a consideration, a shift. By the time Mochi had fully settled, Sonal had forgotten she was supposed to be feeling guilty about anything. The purr began low and built like waves, soft at first, then swelling, then easing back. A rhythm that asked nothing, required nothing, just existed. "That's Mochi," came Clara's voice from somewhere behind the counter. "She has nowhere to be, ever." Sonal held her tea and watched Mochi breathe. The cat's sides rose and fell, in the slowest rhythm imaginable. Complete relaxation, complete presence. No part of her was thinking about what she should be doing instead. "Everyone keeps asking what I'm doing for the holidays," Sonal said quietly, "and when I say nothing really, they look at me like I said something sad, like I need to be cheered up or fixed." Mochi's ear rotated slightly toward her voice. "But it's not sad. It's exactly what I want. I've been working 50-hour weeks since September. I'm tired in my bones, and the only thing that sounds good is my couch and my blanket and that movie I've seen 11 times. The cat shifted, resettled. Her purr deepened. "My sister sent me pictures from her ski trip. She's having an amazing time, truly, and I'm happy for her." Sonal sipped her tea, honey and ginger, warm all the way down. "But when I imagine being there, the cold, the crowds, the gear, the effort of going somewhere, I feel exhausted just thinking about it." Mochi began grooming herself. One paw extended, licked methodically. Slow, deliberate. No audience, no ambition. "You're not going anywhere either, are you? You're not worried about wasting your December?" The cafe held its gentle quiet. Other people drifted in and out, each absorbed in their own small world. A man reading a thick novel. A woman writing slowly in a notebook. Someone by the window just watching the street, thinking their own thoughts. Nobody was posting anything. Nobody was performing. Mochi had finished grooming and settled into full relaxation mode. Her eyes had closed. Her purr continued in slow waves. She was a small, fluffy embodiment of permission. "Bears hibernate," Sonal said. "Squirrels slow down. The whole natural world takes a break in winter. Gets quiet. Conserves energy." She ran her hand along Mochi's back. The fur was impossibly soft, like touching a cloud that had somehow become warm and alive. What if staying home isn't lazy? What if it's just seasonal? What if humans are allowed to have a time for resting too? Mochi made a small sound, not quite a chirp, not quite a sigh, something in between. "Yes," it seemed to say. "Obviously, yes." Clara appeared with a small cookie on a napkin. "For later, or for now. No rules about cookies." "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you ever feel guilty about rest? About not doing enough?" Clara considered this. "I used to. Then I realized that enough was a finish line that kept moving. The more I did, the more I thought I should do. The only way to win was to stop playing." "How do you stop?" "You decide that rest is a thing you're doing, not the absence of doing things." She smiled. "You're not skiing. You're actively resting. You're deliberately cozy. That's a choice. A real one." Mochi stretched. perched luxuriously on Sonal's lap, extending all four paws, then curling back into a perfect ball. "She's very good at being deliberately cozy," Sonal said. "The best I've ever seen. She could teach a master class." The walk home was short and cold and perfect. Sonal didn't hurry. The air felt clean in her lungs, and the quiet street held a kind of peace that busy streets never managed. Her apartment waited, warm and dim, the blanket still bunched on the couch where she'd left it. She changed back into the soft pants, made another cup of tea, queued up the movie, the same one, yes, again, and settled into her familiar spot. The opening credits rolled. She knew every frame of what came next. And that was the point. Some people needed novelty, needed adventure, needed to be somewhere new and do something different in order to feel alive. She wasn't those people, and that was okay. She needed familiar, needed quiet, needed to sink into something known and comfortable and predictable until her tired bones stopped aching. Outside, other people were adventuring, skiing down mountains, swimming in warm oceans, dancing at parties with tiny appetizers. Inside, Sonal was exactly where she wanted to be. Not a consolation prize, not a backup plan, not what you do when you can't afford the trip or don't have the friends. A choice, a real one, deliberately cozy, actively resting. The movie played on. The tea grew cool in her hands. The blanket held her the way blankets do, soft and undemanding and always there. Her eyes grew heavy around the part where the main character finally goes home. She didn't fight it, just let herself drift. Let the familiar sounds carry her. Let the rest be real, real and soft, and hers, all hers.